day here in Minnesota. Thanks for coming out. No opening statement, so we'll just go to questions.
How do you look at camp so far?
It's been productive. I mean, it's been incredibly competitive. I think we've raised the floor. We talked about that a few weeks ago. I think in 2.5 short weeks, I mean, we've definitely done that. Playing a lot of players. A lot of people are getting a ton of reps. And guys that normally wouldn't get reps are getting a lot of reps, you know, in general. Just being able from our walkthroughs, splitting them up to actually getting some ROKKR periods. And then as we start to get 2 weeks from the game day here, we're going to start transitioning a little bit into North Carolina here within the next probably 6-7 days.
PG, what's a positive maybe about this team and this camp compared to some others?
In this particular team,
Yeah.
I just think they're ultra competitive. They really are, and you know, I think good teams know they're really good. You know, and they act that way, they walk that way, they talk that way, they work that way. And look, we don't know what kind of team we're going to be. I mean, that's what's going to happen throughout the season, and that story's yet to be told. But they come to practice every day like they feel they're a really good football team. And I love that about them. And they compete, they're consistent, and they bring the best out of each other. You know, we talked about this competition piece within themselves, with each other, just like in practice, and then eventually we'll go against opponents. But right now, I mean, competing with each other is as good as we've ever had. And with iron sharpening iron, and I think it's really productive for us.
What do you see on film of Max Johnson? North Carolina quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really dove into a ton just yet. We're still about 5, 6, 7 days away from actually getting after it with North Carolina. But right now, we're worried about us. We got to keep getting better, and that's what we'll do.
PG, what do you like most about Cody's offseason and camp so far?
I think his leadership. You know, I know that's cliche, you know, his leadership, but I think his attention to detail, his focus, the ability to bring out the best of the guys that maybe haven't had as much experience. I think he's taken his mastery of the defense to a different level and bringing a lot of people with him. You know, we talk about the ultra competitors really are what you call commanders. They're internally motivated. They love what they do, but then they bring people with them, which is different than just a competitor. A competitor's fine, but everybody can do that, but they're not bringing people with them. He's an ultimate commander where he's bringing people with him, and you can tell by the way he works and the way he's leading out there and his performance.
What have you noticed from some of the guys competing at right tackle?
It's a great competition. You know, Phillip Daniels, Martez Lewis, they're battling it out. You know, Quinn having the ability to go over to tackle if we ever need that at guard, taking Phillip Daniels, moving over to left tackle, you know, moving the O-line around here and there, putting Cooper at different spots. We talked about our versatility on defense, but I feel like we've got 8, 9 linemen that we can be versatile too. And that's what you're going to need for a long season. You're going to need a lot of people to step in, a lot of people step up. Football's football, so you got to be able to find a way to be able to create depth, and that's what we're doing, especially even with some of the younger guys.
What areas of the run defense do you think have improved most from last season?
You know, we talked earlier about the versatility of what we're able to do. I think it's different fronts, it's different movements. You know, the ability to make something look like it is and it really isn't, or vice versa. I think the length of our defensive line, you know, the speed and active nature of our linebackers. And then we're playing a lot of people in the secondary. So I think it's just the numbers allow us to be able to roll people in and out, and the ability to move people to different positions, I think, is an advantage for us. It's not like you can just sit there, hey, we're going to stop the run by, you know, blitzing 6 guys all the time. You got to be able to stop the run with 4 guys up front, you know, in your front 7 and get the ball on the ground if it gets through the secondary. So I think it's a combination of all of it, but I really like the versatility that we have.
What did you see from the competition in the 2 safety positions?
There's a lot of people back there, and a lot of people competing, you know, and I'm not going to single anybody out, but it was really good to get Darius Green back in the mix today at full speed, which was really healthy and good for him. You could feel him and see him. He made his presence felt pretty quickly. But I love what the other guys have done. We got a lot of guys who played a ton of football back there. Aiden Goosby's played a lot of football. Coleman Bryce has played a lot of football. He's the MVP of the bowl game a few years ago. We got a lot of guys who played a lot of football, and they just keep competing. You know, and you put guys like Jack Henderson and Jayante at the nickel position, and you throw in a freshman like Coy, and you rotate some other guys, and there's a lot of depth back there. So we still got, you know, another week of competition, and then we'll kind of get into North Carolina, but their finish is strong, that's for sure.
Heading into week 3, how are you feeling about the versatility in the wide receiver room, especially with some of the younger guys in there?
Yeah, we're going to get some guys back here in the next 2-3 days, which is really good. But part of some guys being out at certain points in training camp allow other guys to develop. And especially at the wide receiver position. I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys that are out there playing that maybe have a ton of experience, but they're producing in training camp. And that's what you want to be able to see. And we talk about that floor keep coming up, and that's what we mean by that.
Is Coy in the mix, PJ, as far as returning punts and kicks?
I think it's really early when you talk about true freshmen. I think it's all about how their bodies handle, the next few weeks. It's really difficult coming here in June and making a huge impact as a true freshman. It's just hard at any level, at any position. But we love what he does. We love how hard he plays. He's really smart. And if he continues to take the next right step, then you could see him being in the mix as we go forward at not only just safety, but special teams and other certain parts of the game.
It looked like outside of the red zone section of practice, the defense was kind of leading things. Is that how it's gone through camp, that they've had the upper hand?
I think it's been a mixture. I think early it was a defense. I think when you're talking about timing and you're talking about getting all those things on point on offense, I think you can always say the defense is going to start a little ahead. But I thought that evened out in the middle of training camp, and now we've had days we go back and forth, not just on days, but per period, right? I mean, we went back and forth. I mean, you talk about the green zone, but there was a first and second down that I thought was really good that went to the offense. And, you're not really keeping score, but you have that feeling that you had. I thought our third down defense was really good today. But you want to see that. If we're constantly always going inside after practice with one side of the ball always dominating, you're going to worry a lot. I love the balance. New traditions around here. I mean, we're giving cold tub baths to people all the time. But I love the give and take, and I love the balance.
Has Daniel Jackson been out for this whole week then?
Yeah, he's done some stuff with our trainers. I mean, he's done a lot of the group. He's done a lot of the walkthrough stuff, but the trainers decided to hold him out a few extra days, and again, they have the call on that. So feel great about where he's at, and he'll be back here soon.
We'll do one or two more for Coach.
Talked about the atmosphere last year, game 1 against Nebraska, and how much that impacted kind of the game in your post-game press conference. How do you see that kind of coming into play again with a similar caliber of an opponent in UNC?
Well, I know our fans are so excited for game 1. I mean, I can feel that just around campus. I can feel that around social media. I can feel that around our state. Everywhere you turn, people are talking about the UNC game, and that's what you want. I'd love to be able to have a full house, sellout crowd, just like we did in Nebraska, and that's become the new norm and expectation with our fans. I think our fans are the best. We owe them a ton. We deserve they deserve to be able to have the greatest product on the field as possible, and they've done a great job supporting us. So hope everybody comes out to that game. That's going to be a really special game for us, and especially just having the whole new era of college football. I think everybody's really excited to get that going with all the media and all the turnover and all the changes in college football. I think everybody's just ready for the NFL to start, college football to start. I think everybody's ready for that, and I can feel that with our fans. So they're the best, and can't wait to see them against North Carolina here and coming up in a few weeks.
We have a final one for Coach. Is there an early word? Ryan, go ahead. Darius Taylor.
Yeah, the good thing is nothing serious with our trainers, so they're going to obviously keep evaluating them, but he's had a great camp up until now. He's done a really good job, so we'll see what they say.
Are there any more kind of key evaluation points and key scrimmages or things you're looking forward to over the next week or so? Yeah, we're
going to do a final scrimmage here, probably Thursday night. Just depends on what kind of scrimmage it is, and we've already done 2 of them. So I think that we're ahead of the game in terms of scrimmages, because I think we needed to make more answers or have more answers a little quicker than we've done in the past, just with depth. We still got some battles that are panning out. But if those don't necessarily mean that somebody grabs the job, then that's fine. We'll just rotate and just have a rotation at that position at some times, and then find roles for people. So we'll figure that out here by the end of the week, and then we'll head into North Carolina.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Appreciate everybody being here. Roll the boat, Sky, Go Gophers. Thanks.
Thanks, PJ. You got it, guys. Thanks for being here.
Where am I looking?
Fire away with questions, everyone. Quinn, what are your general impressions of camp thus far?
Oh, it's been great. It's my last one, so I'm trying to soak it all in. But offensive line's clicking on all cylinders right now, and it's been a great, past 2.5 weeks, and we've just been getting better every day.
Have you enjoyed fully committing to the guard position?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it suits me well. I enjoyed playing tackle, and I think I can play tackle if need be. But I think what's best for the team, what's best for me right now is to get some reps at guard.
How would you characterize this 2024 starting offensive line compared to some of the other ones you've played on?
We're really mature. You know, we know what's going on. You know, with exotic looks that the defense has given us, you know, we're not game planning our defense for practice, but we're really mature. We've seen it on the field and game day with various teams, and we can pick it up on the run, and we communicate well. And you know, if we have a bad play, we're able to flush it and move on to the next one. But we're aggressive, we're physical, and we're very mature.
What have you seen as far as Max goes, as far as kind of understanding the scheme and kind of a depth of kind of knowledge that he has?
Yeah, he has an amazing depth of knowledge there. We'll make the calls in protection specifically, and then if he sees something that we can't see down in our stances, he can completely flip the protection for us. You know, he understands it just as well as we do, so that's been huge.
When compared to tackle, what do you like most about playing guard?
It's a little bit more physical. You know, you're inside with some of the bigger bodies, so that's really fun. You're more influential in the run game, I'd say, and that's my strength right now. So I think it's been fun to see that on the field and be able to help the offense even more there.
Which defensive tackles have you been impressed with the most over these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, Devin Eastern, he's a dog inside. Anthony Smith, if he's ever inside, mostly in the pass game, he'll slide inside. It's like a 3 technique. And then Jalen Logan Redding, too. Those guys are fun to go against every single day, and it's iron sharpening iron.
I know things move around a lot in fall camp, but what have you seen as far as the defense goes when it comes to how multiple they are, how many guys in different spots?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of depth, you know, with veterans out there, 5th, 6th-year guys who have played a lot of football, and then young guys who are coming along quick. You know, they're going to have a good front 7 no matter who's out there, no matter who's rotating. So I'm really happy to see that.
When PJ's talked a lot about the versatility of the defense, being able to do a lot of different things, how valuable is that for the O-line to see a lot of different looks in camp as you enter the season?
Oh, it's huge. You know, if we were one-dimensional on defense, we would only know one thing on the offensive line going into the season. But going into the season, we've seen 4 down, we've seen 3 down, we've seen overload, we've seen so many different fronts with the D-line and the secondary to be able to give ourselves experience there. And I think it's helped us a lot. And like I said, with the maturity of the offensive line up front, we're able to see that and be ready for the season when different teams give us those looks.
Quinn, what do you know about the challenge of the North Carolina defensive line?
Yeah, I'm sure, you know, they've got a great front 7 like they did last year. I remember that game vividly, but I'm excited to have them here, and I think it'll be a great way to open the season.
Was that one of the better units maybe you faced all year?
Last year, for sure. Yeah, they're a great front 7, and I'm not sure who they graduated or who they got coming back, but they're good year in and year out. So we're going to have a good competition there.
How have you seen Greg Johnson seize things at center?
Say it again, sorry.
How he sees the position, how he's taking hold of that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of growth this fall camp. In the spring, it was, you know, he was just learning the position, you know, what to do on every play. IDs come with, you know, experience, and throughout spring, throughout the beginning of camp, he was able to gain that experience, even in the summer somewhat as well. So right now I feel really confident in him, and he's confident in himself to be able to make the calls. And like I said, you've got veteran left tackle, veteran left guard, veteran right guard, even a possible veteran right tackle. So we all trust him to make the call no matter what. If it's something that Max sees differently or we see differently, we can communicate, but he's been phenomenal.
Does it feel like dog days at camp, or do you get the sense that everyone's pretty fresh?
Honestly, it's weird because it's my last one. So, like, no such thing as dog days when you're soaking it all in, right? Trying to enjoy college as much as I can.
Has your dad given you some advice about savoring that last year?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm talking to him on the daily with as much time that I have. But, you know, he loved his senior year with the Gophers. He loved all 4 years with the Gophers. So it's kind of crazy that it's coming to an end here. But we've got a whole season ahead of us, and myself and my family, we couldn't be more excited for it.
What's he say about his advice for camp?
For camp,
yeah.
You know, I mean, we check in every day, but, you know, his advice is just to take one day at a time, not get too caught up in, how many days left do we have, but one day at a time and continue to get 1% better each day.
All right. Thank you, Quinn.
Thanks, guys.
Talking to you. Hello. One of the themes that PJ's talked about with the defense this year is versatility, especially on the D-line. Do you feel that in your final year?
I do a lot. You know, a lot of these guys that I've, one, come in with, and two, been able to see come in and grow. You know, we're starting to get the ability to just let guys go out there and fly around. And it's been fun to see, guys in different positions, guys being able to just go out there and rush, go out there, getting knocked back in the run game, just being able to do different things with the personnel we have. And I think this is one of the most experienced defensive lines that we've had since I've been here. And I've been a part of some great defensive lines here. And so just to be able to see, how this individual group has come together has been really fun.
What is the challenge of trying to play faster, at least at times?
You got to be able to get to a point where you're not thinking while you're playing. And so what that means is, you got to be able to know what you're doing and not, the picture changes on you out there, and it can't take you, seconds to process it. It's got to be, something happens, what the next step is. And so being able to know, 1, the playbook, 2, the defense, and 3, what the offense is doing just allows you to go out there and play so much faster. Especially when the picture changes, because offenses these days are going to change the picture on you as much as they can. So being able to know what that next step is, what happens if this guy goes over here, or they give you a different look after the snap, being able to adjust just based upon your practice and your training.
How much of a paradigm shift is that for you?
I think we've done a good job being able to adjust for that. So it really hasn't changed a whole lot.
Daniel, what's the biggest benefit of having a healthy Cody in the middle of your defense?
I love playing with Cody, and we've been able to be here and be together for going on 5 years now. He came a little earlier with an early enroll, but being able to play with Cody's always been great. He's one of the smartest linebackers that I've ever seen, and then to back that up with his speed and athleticism, it's really awesome to be able to know that that's behind you. 1, because it kind of eases your mind a little bit. 2, it just allows you to go out there and play, knowing that you got a guy like Cody back there being able to cover for you.
Coach Heatherman comes in with a reputation as being very aggressive when he's been at DC at previous spots. How have you seen that play out?
I love just being able to sit down and talk with Coach Heatherman. Seeing his, every coach, I've been through a handful of coaches here, and every coach you get just kind of has a different viewpoint of the game, and they see the game a different way. And so being able to see how he views the game and why he's making a certain call in this situation, it really just broadens your football knowledge as a whole. And so being able to see, we're going to be aggressive here and not here with his reasonings. It's you get to see where coaches differ, and where the reasoning is a little bit different because he's had experiences doing this in another place, and someone else has had an experience doing this in another place, and just having that the culmination of experiences to be able to broaden all of our knowledge just as players.
Do you think generally on the whole there'd be an uptick in aggressiveness?
I think it's not necessarily as much his play calling style, but just what he values as a defense. Being excited, having swarm. An excited defense is essentially a dangerous defense. You got guys that, what we do isn't always that glorious, especially on the D line. You're in the trenches with those big offensive linemen, but if you can be excited doing that every single play, that's a pretty dangerous team. You got a guy that just gets his head knocked and comes back there with a smile. That's not always what you want to see as an offensive lineman. So I think it's mostly just a value and a mentality thing for that aggressiveness.
How would you characterize what you've seen from Jackson Howard and Lucas Finney in fall camp?
I've had a lot of fun practicing with those two. I'll start with Jackson. Jackson's really eager to learn every single day. I love being able to sit down and when we're watching film, kind of hear his viewpoint, hear how he thinks. And having spent a year somewhere else, he's picked up different cues and clues on other things. But he's very detailed in the way he works and the way he learns, and it's really easy to have go over there. Maybe he doesn't do something right, be able to go over there, say, hey, this is how I do it, or this is how we talked about it in the meeting, and he corrects it right there. It's a non-issue. And with Lucas, it's him moving. We're actually roommates, so we're pretty close. Him making the move from linebacker and going through injury and all that, and to see him come out and play how he's playing right now, it really makes me smile, for one, because one of my best friends, but just to see what he's gone through as a football player and as a person, and come out here and play the way he's playing is really cool.
Are you chalking up that interception to pick six?
I saw a couple of the running backs that were standing in the back kind of leak out, so they weren't in the game. It's either a flag or a touchdown, one of the two. Yeah.
Danny, you mentioned film study, pass rush plan with some of the younger guys. Just how much has your process evolved over the years as you've started to get more reps and experience?
Yeah, you know, it's changed quite a bit. You know, coming in, you don't really know, you know, this from that. Everything's kind of a blur. You're just trying to get everything down and just learn the playbook. But you know, as I grew, and you know, being around right when I got here, being around guys like Big O and Boye and Thomas, and you know, all those guys that are now, you know, doing great things off in the league, and being able to see what they've done and kind of keep that in the back of my mind, just while I learned the scheme and the playbook and the system and the culture. And so now that's something that I can go back on, and I pick something new up, I feel like, every year from, you know, a different guy that goes off into the NFL, or, you know, even if they don't go to the NFL, pick up a different thing that, you know, allowed them to succeed. And so as I've gotten older, I've picked up, you know, different habits, different things to look for from different coaches, different players, and it's really helped me grow. So now I can really draw back on, hey, well, you know, Boye or Thomas used to do this and it really helped them. Maybe I'll try that out and pick up a few different cues or clues based upon what they saw.
What's your impression of Coy
last
so
one
far?
for Danny.
Coy, either at safety or in special teams?
Yeah, Coy's a fun guy to be around, you know. I didn't really hear him talk for the first couple weeks that he was here. He was a little quiet, but now he's starting to open it up. He's starting to get a hang and get in with a lot of the guys. And so it's really cool to see him come in and be explosive right away, and, you know, kind of see him work into his role and really take control of, you know, the positions that he's in and the reps that he's getting, being able to go out there and, you know, really take advantage of what he's getting for reps.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Danny. Cody, what's it mean to be named to some national award watch lists this week?
It's great, you know, to be recognized for, you know, those historic and national trophies. It's, I think it's something to be proud of, something to, you know, something to chase after. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're out here every day getting better as a team. So it's not just a individual thing for myself. It's without my guys around me, I wouldn't be within that name, within that, you know, list of guys. So, you know, I give all the credit to those guys. You know, it's incredible to be in the position that I am because of those guys, and I just couldn't be more thankful for those guys around me.
What have you seen from Maverick here in these last 2 weeks?
Ton of growth, and, you know, it's not always, you know, success isn't linear, and neither is growth. You know, there's going to be failings, there's going to be, you know, stumps in the road that you're going to trip, but you're going to get back up, and I think that's exactly what he's done. He's continued to get better each and every week, you know, each day, and, you know, it's just the things that he didn't do well maybe yesterday or the day before, he's going to fix that and do it better today. And it's just those little things that, you know, I think really set you up for success in the future, that maybe some guys, you know, struggle with not being able to get over that one or two things that, hey, I'm struggling with this, but I just really can't get over that hump. I think he's done a tremendous job, you know, looking for advice, looking for help, whether it's, you know, coaches, staff, other players, and, you know, I'm just really excited and super proud of that kid. And he's not even a kid at this point. I'm sorry, sorry, Mav. But I'm super excited for that guy.
How much, after going through the injury last year, how much more motivated are you just to kind of take that forward this year?
Yeah, super. You know, it's no one knows when that sort of thing's gonna happen, right? So you prepare all that time, and then, you know, it's kind of rugs taken under your feet. So, but it's just being prepared each and every day to be able to, you know, and then I think I am more prepared for if that something were to happen again. You know, I was in a position to where I was able to learn many things in that sort of spot that I was in, to where, hey, if this happens again, or maybe it happens to, God forbid, one of my teammates or something along those lines, I can be there now to help somebody through that, or help myself get through that sort of thing. And, you know, looking motivational-wise, it's just another day that I'm opportunity to have. So I'm just super blessed to be able to be in the position I am with the opportunities that I have each and every day.
Cody, how would you describe kind of what you've learned from Coach Heatherman about kind of understanding of the game and X's and O's standpoint? I know you in particular thought very highly of Joe Rossi in that respect. How have you seen Coach Heatherman in that regard?
Yeah, for sure. You know, there's a lot, and, you know, all different coaches have different philosophies, different schemes, different ways of looking about things. And like you said, I learned a lot from Coach Rossi in my 4 years that I had him, that I was underneath him. And, you know, with Coach Heatherman, there's just, you know, a plethora of other things that I've been able to learn too. It's whether it's, hey, with this formation, with this situation, this is what you can expect, and this is what we're going to do about it, right? It's not as much so, hey, this is what we're going to do, it's how are they going to attack us, so we better understand the holistic approach, so we can better, you know, understand ourselves as we understand the opponent. So, again, been super blessed with Coach Heatherman to be in our room, be in our corner. So just continue to, you know, keep going, keep growing, and you know, with Coach Heatherman, I think this linebacker room, this defensive unit will continue to rise each and every day.
He comes in with a reputation as being aggressive as a defensive coordinator. How have you seen that evolve?
Yeah, it's been great. With that aggression, we talk about ESV all the time. Being excited every single play, swarming to the ball, all 11 guys getting their hats there, and when you get there, you got to be violent. Play football, it's obviously it's a violent sport. Have bad intentions when you get to that ball carrier. So I think in those 3 words, that's how I would describe him. Clear it fast, it's excitement. Being excited every single play. It doesn't have to be, hey, a bad play. It's not that, hey, I'm going to get up and jumping up and down, but I'm not going to let that get me down. I'm going to show up every play, and I'm going to swarm to the ball. I don't care if I get knocked down. I'm going to get up and run to the ball, and I'm going to be violent when I get there. So I think those 3 words really describe how Coach Heatherman has instilled himself within this defense.
What has you optimistic that the run defense is going to be improved from last fall?
I think it's a front 7. Those guys up front are going to protect those linebackers, be able to scrape, play off the ball, and those guys are going to be able to clean it up. And then, those guys behind are going to cover all day. That's going to help us. They can't throw the ball, you have to run the ball. They can't run it, they're going to throw it. And at the end of the day, we're going to protect up front, and we're going to get back after them in the back.
Cody, where have you grown most as a leader?
I think vocally. I think I've always been a person that does the right things, but at that point, it's not good enough at that point anymore, right? You can show everybody what to do, but you got to bring people along with you. Talk about being a commander. Like, yes, I'm going to go and do all the right things. That's great. Like, we love those guys that do all the right things, but hey, who can I bring along with me to do those right things too? It's not just about myself at that point. It's, hey, grabbing a younger guy or somebody that may not have it down pat right now. Say, hey, come with me. I'm going to show you the ropes. I'm going to show you how to do it, and we're going to do this thing better together. So, I think within myself, it's bringing those people along with me, and I think that's where I've really grown these past few years.
What have you seen of Coy, either at special teams or at safety?
Yeah, it's been great. He's a very energetic guy. He just loves to be out here and play. He's got that instinct within him where, whether it's on defense, he's going to get to the ball, he's going to find the ball, he's going to get there. And whether it's on special teams, he gets the ball in his hands or whatever it might be, he's blocking, running. Again, whatever it is, he's going to make a play somehow, some way. And it's been great to see him grow too. It's been just a short while since he's been here, but he's gotten a ton better.
You see a potential leader there?
Oh, absolutely, yes, sir. These young guys don't always have that voice in them, but I think the way that he leads right now, the way he does the right things, I think absolutely it'll continue to grow, and I can see that in him, absolutely.
Cody, entering camp, what were some of the collective goals you guys had as a linebacker?
Continue to get better each and every day. Take it one step at a time, stay within the moment. Exactly what we talked about after practice today. Don't get too far ahead of yourselves. Don't get too far in the past. That's when those things kind of can slip onto yourselves. When I'm looking too far into the future, whether it's, I'm worried about this, I got to keep looking at this, but, you really just got to stay in the moment. What do I have in front of me right now to help me, set up my future success? Whatever that might be, whatever it might look like. It doesn't have to be on the football field. It can be in the classroom. If I'm looking, a week down the road and I forget I have an assignment due tomorrow night, I'm not going to be very successful in that moment, right? So it's just staying within the moment, making sure all the guys around you, as well as yourself, are doing the right things at the right time. So I think taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, and just doing those right things that are in front of you.
On that same note, one play at a time kind of mentality when you have a running back like Omarion Hampton first week of the season that can hit a home run at any time, how do you help lead that defense into that game where it's like, okay, every single play we have to know our read, know our keys, and stay focused? Yeah,
absolutely. We're playing a high-powered offense. Like, teams are going to make plays. Big Ten, these guys are good. So are we. But when they make a play, it's not put my head down and soak about it. It's get back up and don't let it happen again. It's that response mechanisms that we have within ourselves that, the circumstances, whatever it might be, say they do rip off a big run, that's not going to dictate how I play that next play. I'm going to get up, I'm going to know my job, and I'm going to get to the right spot when the ball is snapped. So it's just, again, taking that one play mentality and taking it and putting it in within situations, within a football game, and not making a situation bigger than it is.
Any more for Cody?
Awesome. Thank you, Cody.
Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Fun, exciting. He's a guy that brings the energy to the whole defense every day. That's one thing he really emphasizes is having energy and don't let camp become monotonous or boring. So just him emphasizing energy every day, it really brings light to the defense.
What does that next level look like for you in your final season here?
Just being more of a team player. We talk about being commanders and bringing guys with you. So for me, it's just to bring all the younger guys or all the transfers who just got here, just bring them up to the standard and just being the leader on the field.
Justin, what are some of the things you've been emphasizing as you entered camp?
For me, it's just being a leader and communicating. I feel like without Tyler Newbin, you got guys like Cody, obviously, but I have a huge voice, and I have to use it more, and just to make sure all the back end is connected, and just being there with Cody and just making my voice be heard more.
How do you have to play differently in the secondary if the whole defense is trying to play faster, at least at times?
Say it again?
How do you have to adjust in the secondary, maybe personally, if the whole defense is playing faster at times?
If the whole defense is playing fast, it makes my job a lot easier. I know those guys up front are doing really good, and the better they play and the faster they play, the easier it makes my job on the back end.
So you've seen a good transition that way in camp?
Yeah, I think Coach Debo really has the guys going. And on the back end, we can really tell because a lot of times we ain't got to cover for that long.
Justin, how would you characterize? I know there's a lot of people moving around at the safety spots. Darius just came back. How would you kind of characterize where those positions are and how there might be some rotation as the season goes on?
I think we have a very good problem at safety. Well, we have a lot of guys that can play, and I know throughout camp you have different days where a different guy is just stepping up and making more plays than other ones. And I think everybody's having their turn every day. So I'm really excited to see how that goes back there.
What have you seen? I know we talked about Ethan in spring ball, but now that it's fall camp, how have you seen him as a guy opposite of you?
Ethan is a guy that he's really elevated his leadership over the past couple months. You know, when he first got here, being new to a program, you kind of want to just do things right, but he's to the point now where he knows he can do everything right, so he's bringing guys up with him, and he's becoming a big leader on defense.
How about the guys behind you, Ryland, Zaquan, those guys?
Those guys they come every day ready to work. So whenever you got a group of guys like we have now that are willing to work and be excited to work every day, it just makes the whole defense better.
What do you see in Lindsey as a young quarterback, baseman on the other side?
He's going to be a great player. Then having Max in front of him, just to teach him the ropes and how to be a leader, because he has a talent to be an amazing player. But sitting behind Max, I think he's going to learn a lot more on the mental side of it, and just know he's going to be really good.
Does his arm impress you at all? Lengths, all distances?
Yeah, we saw it in spring. He can throw it. He can reach every part of the field. So when he's out there, you got to keep your head on the swivel at DB.
What does it mean having UNC as the first game for you guys? Obviously, you started with Nebraska, last year. What's it like with UNC coming here this year?
It's a great opponent and opponent we respect very well. No played him last year, and just excited to play him again.
Any more for Justin?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.